everybody is so lost. And I'm saying this from speaking to people. I remember it was a conversation I was having with a girl when I first met her. She was saying she was looking for guidance. I met her in the bookstore. She was talking about how she was looking for guidance and all these different things. The world is starting to become more and more garbage. And as the world become more garbage, everybody is lost. And I'm starting to think, instead of a lot of people starting to be more perma distracted and seeking these different distractions and watching all these different streamers trying to be entertained and laugh their problems out, I think they're now watching content like mine and watching things like me who can help give some direction as to what to do in life. Because a lot of people are lacking direction. They don't wake up with a purpose or a direction and don't even know like the physical framework of what to do. A lot of people don't know the physical framework of what to do in life, nor they know the mental framework, the spiritual framework, what to do. Everybody's just wandering through life, lost. And I genuinely think this is a problem, and this is steady happening now. I'm going to give the diagnosis, of course. That's what I believe will help you because it helped me. I can only speak from a position of experience. That's why I have so much authority. I'm not like these other clowns and dorks who get on here with this content and tell you garbage and tell you about intangible things. Everything that I talk about is linked to tangible. You'll get results. You'll become more competent if you listen to my mind frame, the way that I think. So a lot of people are lost directionally. They don't even know what to pursue. They don't know what to wake up and do. They don't even know what to do anymore. They're just living a life of hedonistic and pleasure. Now, one of the first steps that I can truly say, what you should truly do is the first thing. If you're not strong physically, you need to get strong physically. That's the first step. I have to say that because I see a lot of dorks walking around, nerds, not even just men either, women as well. Women should be training because you don't want to have a fat, nasty body. You need to at least have a 5 out of 10 physique minimum. Get you a 5 out of 10 physique and work up from there. You don't have to be in a perfect physique, but I think physically it'll help you. It'll help you become stronger, help you keep going. It'll teach you some work ethic. It'll teach you how to be disciplined, how to actually wake up every day and train, or some people watching how they're eating. It creates consistency and discipline. That's the first step I would say is try to get physically strong. Secondly, I think mentally, the mental health truly comes from after you learning physically. Now, secondly, I will start to say learn more because this is going to lead to the route of money as well. Secondly, start to learn more. You need to learn. I truly became enlightened once I started to learn. Start reading the Bible, learning about religion, learning about spirituality. I started to seek more information like this, the type of content that I get on here and say, if I had this content that I'm saying, all of this stuff that I'm speaking about, if I had this 10 years ago, my goodness. Nobody taught me this stuff. Nobody sat me down. I didn't get to hear none of this on the content. I learned all of this the hard way. It's absolute hard way. Secondly, you need to learn everything. You need to learn a bunch of stuff. I'm talking about learn every single thing you can get your hands on about money, finances, women, biology, speaking, sales, all of it. Mentality, because your mentality affects reality. This is why I'm talking about mindset. You need to start to, after you get physically strong, you need to work on your mindset and learn more. The reason I say that because there's a lot of strong people who's ignorant. They still can't get through mental battles. They still fail. So that teaches you how to think. You need a certain thinking framework to start to progress. So secondly, you need to work on your mindset, your mind frame, how you think and view the world. That's why I have a bunch of different series. So I created a series called Mind Garbage. And I'm going through a bunch of list of things which you have been taught, which is absolute garbage that you need to get rid of. So you can start to go through that as well and start to delete some of the bullshit from your mind. Because we've been programmed for certain beliefs sitting around saying, oh, it's impossible, or this can't be achieved, or self-deprecation, not even speaking life into yourself. So we've been programmed that way to not even speak life into ourselves. So first you need to break out of that mentality, this whole hive mind, slave mind mentality. You have to break out of that second, after you get physically strong, because physically you need to be able to defend your ideals. Secondly, you need to be able to be mentally strong to be able to fight against your own mind or conquer your own mind, and not be infiltrated or influenced by the outside world when bad things happen or hardship happen, or when you're going through internal battles. And then third, I will start to say you need to learn how the world works. You need to learn about universal laws. You need to learn about the laws of the universe. That's the third step I will say. And as you start to learn about the universal laws and how the world works, this includes money. You start to recognize, okay, money comes from providing value. You have to provide value in some type of way. Now you can provide value in different ways. A lot of people provide value through entertainment. Like these clown streamers get on and provide value through entertainment. That's a form of value, but that's not necessarily helping people fix things, fix problems. So if you're listening to me specifically, I would tell you to learn how to solve problems. If you can learn how to solve problems, you can make more money. Every problem out there in the world can be used to make money. So problems are your way out. For example, my problems a long time ago, 10 years ago, that I get on here and speak about, I'm talking to my old versions of myself. Whether you're at a different age, it's still the same consciousness. That consciousness of myself, my old self, I'm talking to. I wish I had this information at the age of the consciousness that I was at. Because as you start to learn how the world works, as you start to learn how everything operate, that there's no dark without light, that there's no success without going through the sacrifices, or understanding success take time, and understanding how reality works, understanding the laws of compound interest, and learn it. You need to learn these things. You need to learn all of it. You need to go down a search of truth, but truth that will help you get tangible results, that will help bring you success. So after you start to do that, you start to move into spirituality and all of those things. You start to understand, okay, that something is keeping everything fixed in place. And you start to learn more about that. So those are the directions of what I can say you can wake up every day and do. You need to wake up every day and learn as much as possible. And you need to start to create. This is the last step I'm going to say. You need to start to create something. Find your unique gift, or find something you can give back to the universe. This is where a lot of people fail. Everybody has a gift, they just don't use it. I guarantee you, most people working jobs have a gift which they can monetize and use it to make them more money, but they don't use it. They're afraid. That's why I say you need to fix your mind. And once you fix your mind, you can understand that you can start anything from scratch. You can start anything from zero, and you can turn it into something. You can use your monetizable assets and turn it into assets. You can start to become better. You can make more money. So that's why I say you need to learn a bunch of this stuff first, because unless you learn, you won't know you have it. You wouldn't know how to find your gift if you haven't found it, or you wouldn't even know what you're gifted at. Because also, I think a gift must be trained and honed as well. A lot of people think you're born with talent, or you don't really truly see talent until you start to work hard at it. And then now you start to be above the average normal people. After we've both put in 100 hours of work, now we can see who's more talented. Now true talent is there. We both put in 100 hours of work. I'm more talented than you. That's how you can see it. There's a skill gap. That's where talent starts to come in after hard work. So you need to understand everything. You need to start to learn about everything. Learn about hard work. Learn how to work hard. Learn how to self-motivate. All these different things. I talk about these things in depth, but I guess I'm more moving in a way of telling you what to do, because I can only tell you what to do. I can't force you and sit you down to learn this stuff. I can only tell you what to do. You have to go out and apply it. And you need to wake up with those things every day. So you need to wake up and understand, okay, I need to train so I can stay healthy. I need to work on my mentality so I can be able to fix every other area. If your mind is right, you can fix every other area. If your mind is right, then that moves you into knowledge. You're getting a bunch of knowledge and wisdom about everything. That was the first opening point for me, though. Once I started to learn, that was the opening point. That allowed me to make more money. That allowed me to work on finances. That allowed me to know what to pursue every day. So you need to wake up and train. You need to wake up, become more mentally strong. You need to wake up and make more money. Now, when it comes to making more money, I'm gonna just make this short because this is not even about particularly only money, but when it comes to making money, you need to understand how it works. You need to understand how it circulates. You need to understand what avenues or vehicles will allow you to make more money. 9 to 5 people don't understand that they are capped at a certain amount of money, salary, monthly income. And they only rely on that one stream of income. They don't rely on a business or something that's producing some uncapped potential. So they don't understand that they're capped at a certain amount and all of their expenses is coming from this one income. Now, that's why I say you need to learn how to make more money. So that's what you should be trying to wake up and learn and study every day until you find a certain vehicle or business model that you want to go into. And then lastly, I will say, continue learning and create. Actually take action towards the business model or the side hustles or whatever it may be, because you're going to need more money. I don't care what you say. That's why I can't just say go work a job and be comfortable. No, because you're going to need more money. As the currency inflates, as the currency outpaces your wage and salary, we're going to need more money. I don't care what you say. Think back to when we were kids, when we could take $1 into the store and we could come out with a bunch of stuff. I remember we could take $1 to the store and we can come out with chips, candy, BB guns, everything. We're coming out with almost a bunch of stuff with $1. Now take that same $1 to the store. You can barely come out with anything. Barely. You can barely come out with one thing out of the store. So that's why I'm saying you need to learn how to make more money. So every day you should be waking up, figuring out how to make more money and applying yourself and actually putting the action behind it. And that is how you will get free. And that's how you will get ahead. And that's how you will stop being lost in this world today. Now, this is not only, I know a lot of people think, oh, if you find God, that's true. You find God, but also a lot of people are lost physically. They don't know what to do. And I'm speaking from experience because I found God. I was at one point in my life, I found God. I'm like, man, I found God. I'm strong physically, but where's the money? Where's the money? So this is why I said it's not only just finding God. It's not only just spirituality. You also need to understand physicality. You need to understand the physical world. Finding God is not only enough because you're going to need to find God and you're going to have to find your way through the world. You're going to have to bump your head. You're going to have to go through some hard work and learn. You're going to have to make money for your family or for yourself, for your finances, for your future. You're going to have to do these things. These are the things you're going to have to do. So why not learn it? Why not get good at it? Even the book of Proverbs talk about it. You need to learn finances. You need to learn all these different things. So, and I truly think it comes down to trying. Of course, all of us may not even fully make it. All of our goals, we may not even fully make, but at least you can die on your deathbed and look around at your family or tell the people around you, I tried. That's the whole point of it. At least try. If you try, I guarantee you'll feel more better about trying than not trying. And it just could have been. So those are the things you used to wake up every single day and do and search for. And God is really inside truth. As you start to learn about the laws in the universe, you start to see God. This is the thing. People think God is just some cloud floating. No, he have principles and laws which you can use. I understand God because I start to see how he operates. I mean, well, I'm saying that's a theological interpretation, but whether you want to say universe or whatever, I start to see how it operates. The sun comes up at night. The sun comes up during the day. All these different things fixed in place. So you need to understand, once you start to understand the laws of attraction, the laws of compensation, these things are not bullshit. I used to think it was jargon bullshit, but it's not. The law of compensation is what you give out, you receive back. That's not even just in an energetic way. That's physically. When you go work your 9 to 5, you're putting out energy, you receive money back in the form of energy. When you work in your business, where you put out services and goods at your store, you receive money back in exchange for your services and goods. So this is how reality works. So a lot of people are missing this element, the spiritual element. Learn about your laws of reality and you'll understand God way much more than looking at, I don't want to sound bad, but well, in fact, no, I'm not going to say that because that's not true. That's true to a certain extent. I'm going to hold off on that. But you will learn more about God studying the laws of reality. That's all I'm going to say. You will learn more about God studying the laws of reality and studying nature rather than learning from some garbage of what people be saying. Oh, put God first. Put God. They don't even know what that means. They don't even know what that means. They don't even know the laws and the principles of which God created, which we cannot change. They don't even know the immutable laws of the universe, which we cannot change. The immutable laws of the universe will bring you success and bring you towards a direction. So you need to understand how reality works. And if you understand how reality works, you would never be lost again. You would know what to do. You know to wake up and get on your purpose. And what your purpose is to become your best version of yourself, make more money, work in your mental health, work on your physical health, all of these things. And then you go out and you help other people. And you go back to your old version of yourself. You start to look for many different versions of your old self and sit and say, well, I want to help these type of people. You start to understand how reality works. You start to make more money, start to become more brave. And that is the whole point of life, is to become your best version of yourself and wake up every single day and try to help other people, try to help yourself, how to help your family, and uplift people out the mud. As a chosen one, you have a duty to uplift people out of the garbage, mundane life. So that is your duty. You know where to find me. Free Telegram is there. That is where we'll be meeting. You know exactly where to find me.